Hello guys, welcome back. It's Friday, happy Friday, and I hope you guys had a wonderful week. This episode is going to be really special and kind of goes along with the last episode. It's a good segue into this episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today's lesson is going to be about how God uses testimony for faith, and how it can show that Jesus is in the room with us, regardless if we're not seeing the blessings that we desire. And that moment, seeing other people be blessed gives us the faith and the hope that He is still working and still moving, which is very powerful. Today we'll be in Mark and a little bit in Luke, just for comparison. Mark chapter 5, the story of the woman with the issue of blood and Jairus' daughter is being told. And in Mark we see, I'll kind of just run through the story really quick. Jesus is walking through this town because Jairus asked, "Hey Jesus, you're my last hope basically. I went to doctors, I gave my daughter all types of medicine, I got her looked at, no one can help, no one can figure out, and now she is basically dead." And she's 12 years old. And he went to Jesus and said, "Hey, you're my last hope," which is often what we do in life. We go to Him when He's our last hope, when we're lost, when we've tried everything else, when we've tried drugs, when we tried drinking, when we tried everything else. So Jairus goes to Jesus, and Jesus is like, "Sure, I'll follow you. Just show me where she's at. I'll go to the house." And on the way there, this woman who also tried medicine, tried doctors, tried healing herself, couldn't find any help with bleeding. She was bleeding for 12 years straight. And as a woman, that just sounds miserable. It sounds absolutely terrible. I can't even go the full 7 without bursting into flames. I don't even know how to describe it, but 12 years. So she finally heard that Jesus was in town in the same area that she was in. So she decided, I'm going to touch His garment. I'm going to touch the hem of His garment. And her faith was so strong before she did it, that when she actually did it, she got healed from it. The story is very powerful to me, because a lot of times we hear the story based on the faith act on the lady with the issue of blood for 12 years. We hear that being we hear this story being the focal point, oh, have this strong faith, because even this little bit of faith, touching Him and seeing Him and witnessing His power, can heal and bless you, which is true. I don't doubt that. I never said that. I was just looking at the story in a new light, and it was kind of weird because, like I said before in the previous episode, I always ask the Lord to give me insight for the season that I'm in when I'm reading the Bible. And I've read Mark maybe 15 times already, and this is the first time that I've ever read something and got something really deep and exact in that moment, especially waking up. And just my first thought when I woke up before I read this was defeat. I just felt defeated. I just read the Bible, I prayed, asked God, and I read this and I picked up on something that I never really picked up on. And it's so weird because it's one of the focal points of the story. The woman had an issue of blood for 12 years. And like I said, Jesus was on His way to heal Jairus' daughter, who was 12 years old. Now hold on, I'm let me cook, because you're okay, and my brain immediately said the time span of their suffering is the same. in the sense that she was suffering for 12 years. So her 12-year mark, she's been suffering. She felt like defeated. She felt dead. She felt like nothing could work. Jesus came. Her little bit of faith, to where it's like she's not even supposed to be outside in the public with these people because she's seen as unclean. And that little piece of faith that she had was greater than her circumstance for 12 years, to the point it literally healed her. She touched the hem of his garment and it literally healed her. We can go to scripture where it says on Mark 5 verse 34, he said, I'm also reading the King James version. I think this is King James, could be, I don't know, but he said on chapter 5 verse 34, and he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague. The faith made her whole. And not only that, but it was the fact that the 12 years, it took 12 years, and her faith was like, okay, finally up until this point, I'm going to try Jesus, because I've tried medicine, I've tried doctors, I've tried healers, I've tried all these other things, and nothing was working. And I've come to Jesus at the last second, like, there's nothing else that I can do. What can you do for me? And that little piece of faith, even acknowledging that he exists and that he has power to do those things, made her free from the plague. And in comparison, the daughter was 12 years old. So the daughter just suddenly got sick and died at 12. And her situation looked dead as well. Like the Bible said, Jairus went to doctors, Jairus did all of this stuff. And he came to Jesus with a little piece. What I wanted to focus on is the fact that their timeline is kind of similar in the sense of the years. So she was bleeding for 12 years and the daughter was 12 years old when her situation was dead. And I believe, truly I believe, that God was walking to heal Jairus' daughter and made the trip to do it, because he didn't have to. And this I'll get into later. He made the trip to do it because he wanted Jairus to see, and everybody else to see, that that little piece of faith can make your situation that is similar to hers become healed, become whole. And you won't have to worry, because Jesus is there. Jesus is with us. The lady's issue with blood, her testimony is basically, I've been suffering with this for 12 years, and if he can do it and heal me on the way to your miracle, then you should just keep having that faith, because Jesus is in the room with us. He's knocking on everybody's door, and if I'm right here, he's going to knock on your door, and then your door, and bless you, and bless you. And I think that was so powerful. So I think this really spoke out to me, because personally, in my life, I had a friend get a job offer, and we both have the same situations. We both went to college, and we both kind of were struggling to find jobs in our field, which I feel like is a situation for everybody. But it got to a point where I felt like I was doubting what I was supposed to be doing. And it was just really hard. And seeing her get that opportunity, and then that night after feeling like, dang, like, when am I going to get my turn? Like, having that sense of like, when is it going to be me? I'm seeing everybody else get blessed. I'm seeing everybody else receive these things. And I was wondering, like, when will it be my turn? And the morning I woke up and I read this, and it's like, Jesus knocked on her door. I can expect him to be doing the same, or coming near to me. And I just wanted to encourage everybody that feels like, I keep seeing people that are giving out these testimonies, and they're like, I got a job without even applying, or I got this new car without my credit being high, and I don't have to make high payments and all this stuff. And it's like, you kind of long for those things, and you're praying and asking like, hey God, I want this like godly husband, and everybody else is just out here getting married or whatever, and you're seeing everybody else get blessed with the things that you want. And I think we need to change our outlook on it, because those blessings, those testimonies are proof that God is working. And even though your situation seems 12 years dead, 12 years no hope, 12 years of doing everything you can and nothing working, in that 12th year, God can come through and heal you. God can come through and raise the dead, what you feel like is dead. So that was just amazing for me to pick up. I know how earlier I talked about Luke and how that kind of goes in hand with what happened in Mark. So I want to talk about it, because Luke chapter 7, because this is kind of a similar situation where the centurion's servant was sick, and he was basically about to he was about to die. And it was very powerful, because I don't know what made me think, like, I feel like there was, when I was reading Mark, I was like, I feel like there is something, someone else was about to die, and there was a difference. So I looked it up. I went to Luke, and I read this really fast. Luke chapter 7, when the centurion's servant was about to die. Chapter 7, verse 6, it says, "Then Jesus went with them," because he followed them to their house. And when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. So it's like he was just in awe. Like, he knew to go to Jesus. He knew that that was the first answer. He had the faith. I'm going to find Jesus. I'm going to bring him here. But then he's like, I'm not even worthy right now of the power, the glory that you have for you to enter my roof. Can you just heal him? Like, I know you can do it. I just feel like you shouldn't even enter my house. He probably was like, I didn't clean the dishes. I didn't even sweep. I just came and got you. Like, I don't even want you to see me like that. And he did it. But the thing that was different to me was the fact that Jairus didn't even feel the need to say that. Jairus felt like, you just need to go see my daughter. And the faith difference is what you can see, because in verse 9 later on he says, if you skip down, it says that Jesus says, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. The catch is the fact that Jairus is literally one of the synagogue leaders. So his faith was just a little, like, it was like the tiniest bit for Jesus to prove that you're not even entirely believing that I can't. It was just the last option kind of thing. And you don't know my strengths completely. You're just doing it because you want your daughter here. And I'll do it. But I'm doing this to show you that, one, I'm in the room. I can do whatever I want to do. And I have the power to heal any dead situation. And I am the living word. Like, that's just what it is. Luke, it just proves that with such great faith that anything is possible through Jesus Christ. And it's just nice to listen to, because like I said, anytime you feel like down, like you feel everybody else is getting blessed or everyone else is receiving these things, just know that Jesus is always in the room with us, no matter where we're at, what it looks like, what situations look like. And with that faith, that's why I say it's a great segue, because with that faith is when you start being able to realize you can do the work. You can step out and just do the idea, have the idea. Once you gain that wisdom, you get that faith to pursue what you feel like would have been impossible. So I do think this story should definitely resonate with a lot of people, because I know I'm not the only one, especially at my young age, that has felt like this and been through a situation like that, where you see a close peer or a close person, even if they're just an acquaintance, or you hear from a stranger what they've been blessed with, and it's something that you want. Just know that God is in the room with us. Jesus is in the room with us. And we have to have faith in the testimony. We have to have faith in the testimony of others. And that's the only thing that can drive us, can keep us going, and love Jesus. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please make sure to comment down below. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.